So this video is about Honey Don't, but not really so much in that it's about Honey Don't as much as it is about the way people have talked about this and Drive Away Dolls ever since that film came out, because there's been this narrative framing these as Ethan Coen just kind of breaking off and doing his own thing. But that's actually not the case here, because he isn't making these movies as an expression of his own singular vision. He's simply switching to a different collaborating partner. First, he had Joel Coen, who is actually gone out to do his own thing now and pursuing his vision. And meanwhile, Ethan has been collaborating with Tricia Cooke, who is not only his wife, but she's an editor who has been working very closely with the Coen brothers throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s. And she both co-wrote and edited both Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't. So these are just as much her films as much as it is his. So it's just kind of odd to me that she's been kind of left out of the conversation entirely around these movies. But as far as Honey Don't goes, I honestly had a pretty good time. It feels more thematically in line with a lot of later Coen brothers material, where it touches on the sort of randomness and chaos of the world and the way it can have these sets of paths that converge and diverge from the journey that the main characters are going through. And it gets into this very existential space while still being a very enjoyable romp, like Drive Away Dolls was, though I think this was ultimately a bit more emotionally complex. Also, I really admire how both of these films have been very unabashedly queer and unabashedly sex positive. You can see all the classic Coen brothers tropes and structures and themes, but there's this added perspective that just breathes new life into this material and not just make it feel like a retread. Plus, in the case of Honey Don't, I'm just a sucker for detective stories, so it was just going to be right up my alley to begin with. So yeah, that's been something that's been on my mind recently, especially after seeing the movie. If you have any thoughts on this sort of collaborative duo between Ethan Coen and Tricia Cooke, or if you have any thoughts on Honey Don't, feel free to drop those in the comments.